up a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there we
That's
are.
it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's on. See, it's recording there. 5, 6,
I
7.
might have pressed it and then.
Double pressed it.
You want me to
I
leave
have.
the door open? I've got the air on.
I think I'm gonna do all right. So these are some of the recommendations, okay, that we have here as far as your nutrition. Okay, and I'm gonna write down a couple more.
Okay.
These are the sprays that we give you. Now, B12 is very important for any type of neuropathy or neuropathy pain. The D2 and K3 are important because these are spray vitamins, so they go right into your system,
Okay.
so you don't have to digest them.
Okay.
And we're going to talk a little bit about your digestion there. And if you take D by itself, it lowers your vitamin K, and that gives you neuropathy and heart problems and everything like that. And this is our nitric oxide booster. Okay, so these are fiber is very important. And these are other ones that as we go through your care plan, you may need it. This
I
book,
take this already.
that's excellent. I saw it. Not enough, but you
Yeah.
take a little.
And I'm also taking, I'm on a potassium sparing diuretic, but then at night sometimes I have to take Lasix, which takes potassium out.
I
So
saw
sometimes
that.
I have to supplement.
Here's our little booklet. It reports on all of these things. Now, one of the things that I see going on right now, hon, is you tend to move your legs. You have a restless leg syndrome.
Sometimes.
Well, see, here's
At
how this.
night,
Yeah, there's no sometimes.
I don't know that it bothers me all the time, but sometimes it does.
Yes. So
Feels like they're tingly.
tingly crawly, that's neuropathy. So here you're going to have to increase. I want you to get this magnesium. You want to increase your CoQ10, 16, at least 600 a day,
Okay.
and then you're going to start to take iron, 200 milligrams.
Okay.
Okay, and that is a sign of your neuropathy. So basically, no one has told you why you have neuropathy, has they?
Well, they think it's coming from my back. But
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. Because neuropathy starts with the smallest nerves. And if you had something in your back, it's going to pinch the biggest nerves. So it's opposite. And so here's the other thing. If you have nerves down here that are damaged, that means that in your fingers and toes, that means there's no nerves there. You got me? Which means there's very little sensation, right, Coach? So if there's no nerves there, your brain doesn't feel your toes, really. So, but those bad nerves send bad signals, and your brain's like, where is that coming from? I can't feel Ann's toes. I've always felt them. Now they're gone. For a few years, I don't feel the toes. But there's something bad going on, right? Some bad signals are coming up. Where's that coming from? Oh, it's coming from my back. Because it's about the same to the brain.
right, exactly.
So people have surgeries, they have injections, they go to the chiropractor, and you know it doesn't work. Because the physical stuff is not a physical thing. It's this is where they cut you, this is where they hurt you, this is where your back hurts. So the brain says, I know where it's coming from.
Right.
It's coming from this place here. And in fact, it's not.
Okay.
It's coming from the damaged nerves. Now you may have damaged nerves there, you may have bad arthritis, you may have all that stuff there. But that doesn't stop where the bad signals are coming from.
Right, right.
Just like somebody has a heart attack, right? And their arms
Don't know.
gives numb and tingling. It's not an arm problem, right? My father only had it here. He had tension here.
Right.
And my friend, John Fabrizio, his mother, was my first chiropractic patient. She came in with neck pain. Neck pain. And I adjusted her and went better. Oh, it's killing me. Adjusted her, killing me. No, she had a massive heart attack. And that was my first patient, so I really became aware of that. And this is one of the things that you're having going
Okay.
on.
Okay.
So we're going to look at that restless leg syndrome
Okay.
as we go forward. Now, let me just look at your vitamins 1 second here.
Okay.
Okay, so you're taking, I see you're taking that milk thistle. Let me get to these vitamins here a second. Okay, Acuvite for the eyes. Do you suffer from dry eye?
A little bit. Sometimes they get dry, and he gave me some drops I put in there, and that helps a lot.
How about dry mouth?
Yes, all the time.
All the time, right? And difficult. And how about dry vaginal?
I dry
fluids?
everywhere. My skin's dry.
So,
Everything's dry.
one of the things that we talk about is in order for you to get better, someone's got to have half an idea as to why you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about, I'm going to write it right here, okay?
Okay.
Pre-diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
okay? What is your A1C
Mm-hmm.
and your fasting
Mm-hmm.
glucose?
Okay.
And so that's definitely a part of it. And we'll
Okay.
find out those numbers, and you can share it. We're going to have coaching calls as we go forward, all right?
Okay.
But one of the things that you're going to look for is look up this disease here, Sjogren's syndrome.
Oh, Sjogren's. I've heard of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's probably what you have.
Oh, okay.
If you don't have that, you have it's so rheumatoid arthritis, all right, is the grandma.
Mm-hmm.
These are all like the cousins, and lupus is another one. It's go in the sun, right?
They checked me for lupus, but they said I have some arthritis, but it's not that bad. But, and I'm
It's
like,
all different
it's not
things. So
coming from that.
this pain here
Mhm.
is inflammation pain.
It is.
And
yeah.
it's easily with the lupus or the psoriatic arthritis, or these are all kind of the sisters
Yeah,
of
right,
this.
exactly.
So you have that. So the objective that we're trying to do is we have to reduce your inflammation,
Right.
okay? Because Sjogren's is an autoimmune disease,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let me see.
I know that's what I've got.
That's of course that's what you got. And the thing that I don't understand is why are you not? How's your thyroid? Because that's the thing that
No.
struck me, that your thyroid is they're not addressing your thyroid if it even is there.
I've told them for years my thyroid's not working right, but every time they take my test, my T, they all come
That's
out
all right.
normal. And I said, that doesn't mean it's working right.
Have you ever considered a functional medicine doctor? Functional medicine?
No.
They don't wait for your organs to crap out before they
Exactly.
do something
Yeah,
about
exactly.
it. And I think that this case, your sugar's a little funny. Well, if your sugar's a little funny, your thyroid's a little funny, your tummy's a little funny,
Right.
guess what? They're not supporting you to get better.
Yeah. And I can't lose any weight no matter
Yeah.
what I eat.
Yep.
Uh,
I know. I
can't
get
get
that sense. So these are things that we're going to make a note on.
Okay.
We'll make a note on. So this is the nitric oxide discussion of why it's important.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make nitric oxide very well from our diets and things like that. That's why we boost you. The vitamin D, okay? This is very important in here. The studies on vitamin D. For some reason, you're not on a statin drug.
Oh, I don't like statins. But
It hurts you, right? And so that's why you've taken statins in the past.
no, but I just didn't want to take them from what I've read about them. They're not
That's
good
right.
for you.
That's right. So we explain that to people that it's not good.
They're not good for
It
you.
gives you lots of problems. It's beautiful information here.
They're trying to put me on them. I'm like, no, I'm not taking it.
Nope, you did the right thing. There's the FDA explains how statins are. You have to kind of review this. Does she get her book? She doesn't need it. Benefits are indisputable, but they need to be taken care of as knowledge. Now here's something. Your food.
Gluten, I'm very gluten sensitive. I found that out.
That's your gut.
Right.
So here's how I want to break this down. This is a gluten sensitivity thing for you, but here's how we want to work.
Okay.
You want to look at one, digestive enzymes.
It's in everything, yeah. I took those, they did help.
Yes, and that you're taking that. The milk thistle is good for your tummy.
And I'm taking milk thistle.
That's good for your tummy. So
It's
you want
good
to
for
do
my
this.
Liver too. I
Okay.
mean, my kidneys.
You get some digestive enzymes. 2, you want to eat a piece of raw food before any meal, before you eat, before the meal. I don't care if it's a celery, a cracker, not cracker, celery, carrot, lettuce.
Radishes, I eat all that stuff.
I-
Peppers.
Before you eat.
Before I
That's
eat.
going to start the process.
Okay, I
Okay.
got you. Okay.
Then the 3 is you got to take your zinc. I think did I put zinc in there? Zinc and
I know.
magnesium
Zinc,
because that's in for your tummy. It's your digestion. 4, fermented foods.
what is it?
Fermented foods.
Oh,
Like what?
can't eat those wine
Watch.
and pickled things.
Yes,
and- yeah.
sauerkraut.
Oh, I love sauerkraut, but I can't eat it.
What happens if you eat sauerkraut?
Oh, my stomach gets all messed
That's
up.
because your stomach's all messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that what we're talking about here are these are natural pickles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kimchi. Now remember this. If you eat chow mein and get to mein, and then you go home and you throw up and have diarrhea, are you sick or are you well?
It depends, I guess. you know.
Which
I mean,
is it?
hopefully you get it all out, but you never know.
So are you sick or are you well if you have a reaction to eating something that's bad?
Yeah, you don't
You're
know.
well.
Hopefully you're well. Yeah.
Because you're
You
getting
got
rid of it.
Yeah, hopefully.
So if
yeah.
I tell you that fermented food helps your digestion and you eat it and everything's going like that, because your your intestines
Right.
is all messed up.
It is.
So as I give you the cure, that's what it's like. That's what's going to happen to you, because you got to get rid of the bad bacteria that's taking over your body. So
Exactly.
how much prednisone are you on?
Well, I take 5 milligrams in the morning and 5 at night, and that's the minimum I can get by with.
So long term, now these are low doses, but
I know it's
long
not
term use of that anti-inflammatory things will create neuropathy.
Yeah.
So you just it's okay. So they're treating you with like the medical model for a functional problem. This is why you're kind of putting your foot in the grinder
Exactly.
instead of healing.
I know.
So this is what we do, because the light therapy is going to reduce your inflammation, okay, and it's going to increase your circulation, and then as we move through this diet process and regulate your sugar, and if you're off of the gluten already, everything is working in the right direction. Now we're just going to tune this up, and we see what happens. But it's how it works. Okay. A probiotic. Okay, these were natural sauerkraut, pickles, kimchi, things like that. That has to be a part of your diet. Okay. And I understand when you have irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, colitis, all those types of things that they talk about, it's because your intestines are inflamed.
Yeah, I had GERD, and they put me on this Ranitidine Zantac, and it helps, but it's not fixing the problem. It's still there.
Now, I explain that to you. You're blessed in many ways, because if they gave you the normal drugs for the normal quote-unquote diagnosis of you, you'd be really screwed up. The statins would wipe you out. You wouldn't be able to walk. I can rest assured. If no statins does this to you, statins would mean that would be where you are all the time. Okay? But this is what happens, is your intestines are inflamed. All right? And watch this. That and this is pretty much the same. So if your intestines are inflamed, then your skin is inflamed, and that's why your nerves and your skin get destroyed. Okay? So from the age of 30, right, your stomach acid goes down like that every year. And you're how old now?
70.
So you're 70. So you've lost 40% of your
Digestive.
enzymes to digest, right? And then you have GERD, right? Which means what? They're going to give you something to reduce your stomach acid, right? So what happens is this. Here's your stomach, right? This is your duodenum right here. So the food comes in here. It has to become a high acid, okay? I think that's high acid is low, right? Coach, you remember that. It's got to go down. So the pH goes down, and once it reaches a certain level of acidity, the duodenum opens, and the food passes through. Now, if you have lost 40% of your digestive enzymes, and then I give you something to reduce your stomach acid, is that going to open up? This is what happens, is you don't want undigested food to get into your intestines, or it creates all these problems. So our objective is to put the raw food in first, put the fermented food in here, put the stuff in here so that you cook it a little bit. The acid goes up. That's why we give you the zinc. That's why our vitamins are spray, because your guts are messed up.
Right.
You follow me? So
When they checked my blood, my acid level was 7.0. It was normal in terms of acidity, but I don't know that it's good
enough once the food hits there. And you know what? If you were well, you'd be well.
Well, I would be low.
If you were healthy, you would have these things wrong with you. So
that's true.
And so this is what happens. So we have to increase the acid of your stomach. If your GERD is bothering you, Tanya and I have a whole program on how to fix this, but I'm giving you the major good points now. Okay? So I want to do that. I wanted to cover that. and then I want to do the eval on you a little bit.
Okay,
Because we only want to do the treatment. We want to start your treatment today.
okay,
And so this is how it works
okay,
for your tummy action.
okay.
That's why we increase the fiber and everything. And it's going to be a mess for a little bit. So let's wait. You know, we passed Thanksgiving. We're good now. So let's try to make it nice, clean ourselves out before Christmas if possible. There's a cookie. I understand.
I don't do good with fiber, I know, for some reason
That
it
is
clogs me up
you have
really bad.
because you're see. Here's what I'm trying to say. If you're going to understand this, these intestines are it's a mess. So you have to understand.
Just don't have the ability.
You
to
don't
do
have it
it.
right now. You don't have the ability. So we going to go slow. But think of it this way. Your intestines work by secreting and absorbing.
Okay.
If you have one of these diseases that we talked about, you don't secrete.
Uh-huh.
You're already behind. How about your stomach acid? How much stomach acid do you think you're going to secrete? None. Not too much.
Why do I have too much acid then?
You don't have to. You don't have too much acid.
Because it burns and stuff in it.
It
Is that
burns
not from
because
acid?
it's sitting there too long.
Oh.
And it's just sitting there. It can't go out because it can't raise up enough and it sits there too long. This part's not protected
Yeah,
against the
yeah,
acid. So it's
exactly.
just sloshing around in there.
Oh, okay.
We got to get it to get in there, boom, high acid and empty.
Oh, I see.
And that's the
That's
situation.
what's happening, okay.
That's the situation.
Sitting there too long, yeah.
You know, or it's just, you just never get that cauldron hot enough to move to the next level.
Okay.
And that's really what happens. So even if it does open up, then the duodenum area is going to suffer. Then your intestine's going to suffer. And then, you know what I mean? It's like you got to see, and that, of course, everything starts to go down the tube.
Exactly, yeah. Wow.
Okay? So I wanted to go over that. And this is a way that the grains knock you out. Here's a nice little breakfast thing. I know you're familiar with it. Shopping list. Gluten. That's why we focus on it. Oh, it's lovely. Lovely. Broccoli, the green stuff. Perfect. And these are some exercises that kind of mimic what we do in our evaluation, because you're going to have increase in nerve function and increase in, you know, that's going to lead to increase in muscle function. But let's go over a couple of things here before I get going. I want to talk. We're going to review all of these as we go, all of your things.
Okay.
And here's her exam sheet. Here it goes. So I'm gonna save a copy of this for me to look at while we're doing it. But that's basically it. You did a very good job on this. Did a very good job on this. And we're ready to go. So I think we're ready to go with the start. So you're going to be happy that your legs are going to be more calm. Huh? That's what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at her symptom sheet. Hold on. No, sorry. I wanted to get that symptom because I got to get the most of it. No, I did it. I did it right. Cannot display this images and everything. Yes. Here we go. It's this one. For some reason, this is backwards. So your main pain, you're saying your toes, right? The main pain that you have in your toes would be described as what?
It's not all the time, but it's a tingly, burning, sometimes feels like somebody's sticking me with needles sometimes.
Correct.
Sometimes.
And so one of the things that we point out, those are nerve problems, nerve pains. So if you had the pain all the time versus sometimes, do you think that means that there's less nerve damage that way?
Maybe more.
Could be, no, the nerve damage is always getting worse. That's what happens. And it just relates to how your nervous system is doing as to if you feel it or not. You only hear the ticking clock when it's quiet. So that's why it may bother you more in the evening. And that's why you sense more of this restless leg. But we do very good with these
I have
types
a
of
high sensitivity to pain. I mean, everywhere. that I touch, I hurt.
That's correct.
Because I had the fibro, it started off with fibromyalgia.
That's
And now it's
neuropathy.
progressed into this.
That is neuropathy.
Mhm.
So that's a misdiagnosis, and then it's wrong treatment. So every time you make the wrong diagnosis, guess what? You get the wrong treatment.
Well, I've had that over 14 years.
You've had it for a long time, but think about that. So in order for your symptoms to start, you've had the neuropathy before that.
Right.
So,
Oh.
so now you're in your 50s. That's probably when your hormones started to go into the toilet, and
Mhm.
everything followed along. So that's the scenario. So we've put together what I think is the best system for you to use.
Okay.
And now you're going to do the demo. I'm going to watch. But here,
We'll
the
put the
eval.
eval.
I'm going to watch so that we can be on the same page of what we're doing and what we're seeing.
Okay.
Right?
You need me to sit on the stool?
No, I
Are we
think
going to chart it as well?
you get a chart it, and I need a sheet of paper to
And then you
do.
can look at the follow.
Do you have a sheet? Do you have another one of those evals for me to write on? Perfect. I left my thing in the car. Wonderful. So I will move over here
If you'll remove your shoes, please.
Oh,
and stop this thing.
And we can